Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Season 2, Episode 3, titled Follow the Leader. I love this episode. It's definitely the best one in the season so far. Um, it had great action to it. The ending was really good. I didn't expect them to actually have Splinter reveal that Karai is his daughter to, well, at least Leonardo. So I don't know if he's gonna have him keep it a secret. But I feel like if he told Leo, he's gonna tell everyone else. But who knows? I mean, with the secret that big, he could just tell Leo because it's Leo, so he's not really his favorite. I don't want to say that, but with him being the leader, certain things are different. So we'll have to see how that plays out in future episodes. But we get Karai in this episode. We get her. We have a small interaction between her and Shredder where he basically threatens her with death. And when she asks, does that apply to your daughter? He basically says, it mostly applies to you. So that was really interesting. And he's off to Japan for some business. So I'm sure that'll come into play. It won't just be he randomly left for something that won't affect this show. So I'm curious to see what that was. But we got Karai with her wit and talking to the turtles and training the foot ninja who are provided by the Krang, which I definitely figured that was going to happen because that's just what happens in the Ninja Turtles, franchise. It's the Foot Ninja and the Krang, and then when they team up, we get the Foot Ninja robots, which makes for some pretty violent looking stuff, but it's robots, so it lets them show that. But that's all I was waiting for because I wanted to see them do all the really cool action scenes where they could still actually attack the Foot Ninja. And in this episode, if you could imagine, like if someone did know that those were robots, which it would be hard to do because every time they cut one, you see sparks in the inside. But if they didn't, it would look insanely graphic because there's a part where when they decide, hey, we have to be random in order to defeat the Foot Ninja. Like Raph is like stabbing their heads off, and then he grabs the one and like stabs it into the wall and stuff. And then there was the part when Leo first fought against them, and he like stabbed one of them, or he like stabbed two of them separately, and it looked like it kind of died, like he got stabbed, and it just kind of like fell on him. I was like, it looks like he's actually killing people, but it makes it really cool because we get to see all the cool ninja moves that they couldn't really display. Like they can pull off like all types of crazy stuff now because they don't have to worry about hurting anyone because they're fighting against robots. So it was really cool to get to see that, like Leo's just like slicing through them and like chopping their arms off and stuff, and, splitting them down the center. It would be cool to see how that, carries on throughout the rest of the season because, like I said, we get to see, full ninja action, and since it's not them actually killing people, it's okay to show because they're just like chopping up robots. So it was cool that we finally got that. I was excited to see it. And it would be cool to see how they actually adapt to fighting the Foot Ninja, who adapt to fighting them all the time. So, that challenge is kind of going to build over and over again. And it'll be a lot more like a stalemate compared to when they would normally fight Foot Ninja and they just beat all the guys up. So it'll be cool to see how that progresses through the series and how, they might have to learn new tricks in order to beat the Foot Ninja because, the Foot Ninja constantly learn tricks every time they see one. So I'm excited for that. It was a great introduction, Karai like leading the Foot Ninja with Shredder just gone, so she's like, in charge, and she just has like complete command over these robots, and she's just having to destroy the turtles because she wants revenge against Splinter. And the guys are having to deal with the fact that they don't really listen to Leo, even though he's their leader. And they go through and he's worried about whether or not he's meant to really be the leader, and he has to basically get picked up by Splinter and let him, he has to tell him like, hey, being a leader doesn't mean you have to enforce your rules. It just means you help everyone pretty much get through every situation. So it was cool to see them go through that, and the turtles do have to listen to him because he pretty much saves their butt and then gets captured himself. So they go in, and then everything kind of works its way around. And they have a very small parallel between Leo and Karai when he is first captured. And she says, like, isn't it, like, don't you like my leaders, or don't you like, my ninjas? They listen to every command I give them and stuff like that. So it's like a really quick parallel just to show, like how Leo basically didn't have that at all. And then Karai just has, like, absolute power over these robots. But it was a great episode. It had great comedy, and they also referenced the movies in this. In the very beginning of the episode, when they talk about when they're looking for the mutagen, and Rab was talking about Donnie's mutagen finder. He's like, that's about as useful as a trench coat on a ninja, or as a trench coat on a turtle. That was a reference to the first movie and the second movie, I believe, because they would wear trench coats when they like walked around New York City. And then when Mikey finds the fake mutagen container, he yells, "Go Ninja, go Ninja, go," which is a song from the second movie that was sung by Vanilla Ice. So, yeah, just random references that they put into this episode were really cool, and it just made it even better. And I don't know why, but it's cool to just have funny references to the movies and stuff. But it does, this episode did really take me back to like the older Ninja Turtle stuff, and the movies mostly through the references, but the old show, like the old show, like the old '80s cartoon, because they could like just beat up the Foot Ninja because they're just robots, so they just like do whatever and then they win. But it looks obviously much cooler in this episode. But it was a great episode, I think. It had great action. It was great to see Karai, of course, because her storyline now is really gonna come in full force, because at the end of this episode, Splinter does reveal to Leo that Karai is his daughter. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm definitely excited to see. I feel like next week's episode won't actually like carry on from this, from this point. But I really hope it does. I hope that they don't just kind of like brush over it and do one of those like random one-shot episodes and then go back, because I don't want to wait an extra week to see how they deal with this. But comment below, let me know what you thought of this episode. Favorite parts, least favorite parts. Are you excited to see what happens? Are you mad that they already, that Splinter already revealed that Karai is his daughter? Were you hoping that it would be a bigger reveal to the Turtles? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.